Okay, today we're going to be going over the Kingslayer lower that we have here. This is a prototype we've released on 3D Cults, but we're going to be going over some of the features and installation of this today. So first things first, we have, as you can see, a big chunk missing out of the back here. That's because included in the 3D file that you can get from 3D Cults are two different size back straps. So we have the larger size, which is more accustomed to the AAP-01. We also have a slim, which is more Glock style. I personally like the slim. It has a different profile and it fits my hand a little bit better. But the large one is very popular amongst all the people we've had test it. This pinhole here is the same diameter as the pin that goes in the hammer housing there. So if you lose it, you can use that one, or if you don't have an extra one, then you can use that one. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Now, depending on what material you use to print this, what printer and your settings, you might get a little different output. So just be careful of that. This one here came out pretty clean. I'm going to have to sand the top a little bit, but overall the fitment is pretty good. Next, we're going to put in the magazine release spring. So put that in and push it back. You're now going to slide in your magazine release. I chose the stock one because it's black and it matches the black back straps. You can print this in any color that you choose. I just like gray. In our design, we don't have the screw that goes into the trigger area. It's already a tight fit, so this is not going anywhere. We wanted to reduce some of the redundancies to make it a little bit easier for people to install and also make it a little bit easier to manufacture. Another thing to note is the hole that we have here in the trigger guard. This is going to come in handy later because it's going to allow us to adjust our trigger screws without having to actually take out the trigger. Okay, so let's install the trigger. So here we have our version 2 trigger bar with our trigger spring and the TTI trigger. This is one of the best setups I've ever had. Okay, so we're going to install the trigger now. Like that. The spring connects to that ledge there. Let's move this stuff out of the way. And then we're going to slide this, line up the hole, take your pin, insert it like this. Slide it home, okay? And then you're going to connect your trigger spring. So now this is drop-in ready. The reason I like to do it before is because it makes it a whole lot easier. So you're going to just insert it like this, and you're going to hold it down with your hand, and you're going to kick out this pin. And as soon as the pin gets taken out, you're going to take your palm and squeeze down. And this is going to force everything into place. Okay. So I'm going to pull it and squeeze at the same time. And then you just put your pin back. Another reminder, this is a 3D print, so depending on your settings, you may or may not have very tight holes. So sometimes it's good to sand them. I use a little mallet here to help force that in, as you just saw right there. Now a little bit of a tip, when installing the hammer area, you want this trigger to be as free, this trigger bar to be as free as possible. So to do that, I'm going to loosen the trigger set screw at the top. This one here. This way we can get more range of motion. And you'll see why in a second. Next, I have my hammer assembly ready to go. You're going to take it like this, vertical, and you're going to insert it, the hammer housing, like that. Just like that. So you're sliding the trigger bar in this groove there. Now don't push down all the way because there's still a few things you have to do. You take your fire pin lock spring and you're going to slide it in the groove there. And you're going to take your fire pin lock and you're going to set that home. Okay, so now it's in its place. So now everything is flush where it has to be. The last step is we're going to install the upper lock. This grip here has a groove instead of a lip for the upper lock spring. This may seem tricky at first, but we're going to install it. If you're using the spring upgrade set, the upper lock spring that you get in this package is more beefy compared to the stock one here. This is going to make it easier for you to install. So just set it right in the middle. Take your upper lock and you're done. And then push your everything into place. Just like that. Okay, so now the upper lock is locking. We're going to take our final pin and we're going to insert it in the hole here. A little bit of a tap. Okay, so now we've just installed the Kingslayer lower receiver here, and there's a groove right here. This groove here and this pin going across holds all this stuff in place. So these side screws are really just redundant. However, if you do have a little bit of a file, you can open up that hole a little bit more and screw in your screws if your print came out like mine and kind of blocked the holes there. But that's it. Let's get this hooked up here. Now, this groove back here is exactly like it is on the stock AAP-01, and we did this because we want you to be able to use your folding stock. So you just take out this top pin here, and then you can slide your stock on to that groove there. Alright, so let's do some shooting here. I have the CTM Maximus mag adapter hooked up to my airline. Fits in perfectly. And it works. Another cool feature we have is an internally flared mag well. So it's very smooth. Depending on what your print settings are and how you print it, it might be a little bit hard to get your magazine in there. However, I, as you can see here, did not have trouble with that. So, okay. There you have it. There's a Kingslayer. If you go ahead 3D cults and print yours out, send me a photo. I'd love to see it. If you print in a different color, like if we did a black and red version here, I'm really excited to see what you guys come out with. So, all right. Thank you. Until next time.